Morning guys, time for a doodle. We're gonna doodle some drone. Sci-fi time. Let's go. So, cube. Cavity. Done. No, just kidding. Alright, so we're gonna be designing a flying drone. With some cameras and stuff, you know, like a spy drone or whatever. So let's make it a bit longer, right? A bit taller. And we're going to cut it. So D with box cutter, and let's choose 5-degree angle, and let's just slice it. Now I might actually slice it like this. I think this could be interesting, and the bottom could be more or less flat. And also I wouldn't mind actually, you know, running a cut here as well. Or maybe we could start it from a flat surface. Maybe this would be a better idea. Let me actually apply this and grab this. Let me extrude it. So shift curve extract. Nuke this nonsense and let's play with this one, right? So if I move this slightly forward, somewhere here, so we got 2/3 and 1/3, then draw another line here, and I'm going to drop this down. We could slap it to increments. And that's not gonna work. Let me see. Whoa. Let me see that. Maybe grid? It would need to be more accurate. Yeah, we need to zoom in for this to work. Yeah, I will need to make this grid a bit smaller. Fuck it. I'm just going to eyeball this. So G, and just drop it down. And we could maybe even rotate this a little bit. Or bring this corner GG up here or that. Okay, something like this. And then we can mirror this, right? Let's fix the auto smooth here and see what we got. Yeah, it's pretty cool like that. And let's run the power save because, you know, it's Saturday, you know what I mean? So let's run here, I would say 8. If you're gonna run even number of segments and an even number of edges, you're gonna be always able to select every second edge in the middle and dissolve them if you need to halve the resolution of the bevels. It's really good for example, working on, you know, game assets related stuff. I think 4 in here is enough, you know, something like this. We could run a bevel on this, right, and see how we're gonna how things gonna develop. I think this could be still closer here, but you know, if we want to bring this closer, then we would need to, you know, fix this bevel, right? So another way of doing this with hard ups and box cutter would be to run the procedural bevel with mark. So Q and control click on mark, and then you bevel this and you give it 8 segments, which you can see on the bottom, right? And give it a certain width, right? Is it actually working? Kind of. Let me just fix the smoothing. There we go. And then, you know, when you move these, right, GG, you're not going to affect this bevel. You're not gonna break it because this one is dynamic now. Do you know what I mean? So, and the same technique you could do here, and technically you could do the same thing here. The only problem is that you would need to play with vertex groups, you know. Actually, no, you don't. Oh shit. Did they fix it? Because that used to be a bit of a bitch, if I'm to be honest, but you know. And we can run a mirror, you know what I mean? So alt text in the mirror, boom, right? And then you got 3 procedural bevels, right? So you got bevel 1, 2, and then we're gonna add one more with control. So now you got, you know, press 1 for to fix the profile. Now you got 3 bevels, so you can actually adjust them manually through Q menu. So Q and bevel. and you adjust this one, then you press Q and you adjust this one, and you press Q and adjust this one, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, and you can just, you know, have some fun with it, which is, I think, awesome. So something like this is cool. I like that. We could have a little bit more segments here. So we could go to, you know, to this bevel, right? And we could just simply add a few more segments. So we could make it 10, right? To make it a bit more, you know, smooth, right? And I think this is pretty cool. I kind of like this sort of a, you know, slight slope in here going down. Maybe this one is a little bit too thick, so we could make it a little bit thinner. And pop a weighted normals and we Gucci. And the bottom could look a little bit different, right? So the bottom could be a plain. We could actually borrow, you know, that we could borrow this, in fact. Yeah, let's borrow this. So curve extract with control and run it down. And this is gonna borrow all the bevels, right? So RY and 180. And we're gonna bring it up. And now I want to have a completely different kind of a vibe here, right? So what I want first is, let's just actually nuke. What bevel is this? Let me just nuke. I want to nuke everything, in fact, because I want to fix it differently. So here I want an opening in the front, which means I will need to bring these two down, right? So, you know, I mean, bring this down here, this one here, and this one, bring it down here. And then I'm going to cut it. So let's grab an angle. And we're going to cut it maybe like this. I think this could work, and obviously we would need to run some support here. So we would need to do this and run some support here. It's, you know, that's something we need to do to, you know, support this cut here. Then I would apply scale. I don't think I need to, but let's just do it just in case. And we're gonna run the solidification outwards. You could also press 2 to solidify both ways. It might actually work better for us. Run a bevel on it, why not, and weighted normals. Cool. We got the bevel here in the bottom, which is fine. But you see, we got a little bit of a different shape, right? Now here are the sides, you know, this is where I'm thinking that I would like to run an edge here up, which is going to cause a problem with the boolean. So let's actually apply the boolean, right? So let's apply the boolean, and then grab the edge here and then run it up like this, right? And let's see this. Maybe we could just rotate it, or keep it flat, and we could grab, I don't think wait, actually I do need this, but do I need this? Yes, I kinda do. I would need, oh, well, I could just bring these and move them here and sort of align them. So what we could do, we could, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we could try align this one here. So let's just go Alt A and straighten. Yeah, this is not gonna work because we're gonna flatten it in here. Well, we could, you know, we could cut it one more time. But to be honest, you could just grab an angle, right? And just slice it here like that, you know what I mean? So it's fine. Let's just cut this. There we go. And move it up a bit, and Bob's uncle, right? So there you go. And we will have to fix this here because it's a little bit messed up. But this is doable. We could move this here. In fact, this probably should be moved in here. So J, And this one is a flat surface, so we could move it in here. And I think we're gonna be good. That's going to secure this corner. And we could, we could just move this one a bit here, right? So there we go, right? And I think we're gonna be fine. Now I'm not crazy about how this cut went here. So what we could do is make this shorter, run it here and rotate it. So we're gonna align it properly here, do you know what I mean? So something like this, right? And that's gonna be a much better cut in my opinion. That's very aggressive. I kind of like this. And I think the bottom, do you know what I mean? The bottom of this thing could be a little bit longer. And it's another one, which is cool. In fact, no, I kind of like this. I kind of like this. We could have a little bit more support here as well, which is going to mess up our angle here, but we can fix it later. Where is the bevel on the bottom? This one, right? So the bevel is actually slightly losing the angle because it's at 30, so we can move it up to 60. And I think it's gonna be fine. So just type 60 here. Whoa. Let's see how this is gonna go. Yeah, that's better. Cool, cool, cool. We do need a bevel on top. Wait a minute. Hang on. There are two bevels in here. Wait. Oh no, the bevel on the bottom is gone. Right. So I tell you what, let's remove this for now. Let's push this up underneath and let's just stick with this for the time being. Right. Cool. And this could be, this could be beveled here manually like this. Right. You can define this here like that. Boom, right? And we're good to go. And then you can just run a regular bevel on top of this. It's going to be fine. And I think that's better. Okay. Now this side here could be also soft. It's like maybe 6. I don't know. I think it's going to look a bit better. Yeah. And it sort of echoes the front as well. And the middle part is easy because we can just simply borrow edges from top and the bottom and combine them. Or just fit a cube in here, But it's kind of looking cool from both angles. I like that. Looks like a cool drone. So I think that's gonna do, right? Awesome. So now we could select all these and shift the new collection back up. And I'm gonna put it there and nuke it. And then we're gonna simply apply this. So here, if I apply this, I will apply all the bevels except the last one. That should be the case. So let's see, that's multiply. And that's perfect. So we left with the structural, the edge bevel, which is perfect. Here to operations multiply. And now what we can do is we can just grab this edge here and, rip it off. So control curve extract and then grab an edge from here and control curve extract and the same thing in the back. So, control curve extract and here too. Boom, right? And now we have these edges here. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? Peachy, let's go loco. And let's go crazy. So combine these two with F. Why is it not working? Oh yeah, we need to join them. There we go. So in fact, what we could do is just, make a face here, and that didn't work. So let's just combine them with F. What the fuck? Huh? Wait, what? Why is it not, that is weird, hang on. Let me just move this a little bit to the width. Hang on. Okay, let me create a custom orientation, GY, and then I'm going to align to edge maybe. There we go. And then mirror, perfect. Now you can combine them. So move this in here. We could bevel this with the same amount of verts you can see on the bottom. So that's done. And then we need to fix the bottom part. So here we could combine them together with F, and we will need to, you know, sort of bevel them. So what we could do is combine these two, run a bevel on this one. So let's say 4, and then run a bevel here. And let's say let's run 6. And this should be good enough for us to combine them. So let's combine these two with F, and then select the corner and press 4, which will not work. Fair game. So select these two, and let's just go around, see if we can actually do this. We have uneven number of verts here. This is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So what we need to do here is remove one vertice. So remove one vertex like this, select all of them, right click, loop tools in space, and this is gonna fix the problem. So let's go again. So let's go here, perfect, and this didn't work either, so we need to fix it too. So we are missing, there's how many of them? 4 verts on this side and 6 on this side. Now we do need more verts, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these two and we're going to split them, right? And then we're going to align them, so space, right? And this should work. We don't need these at all. We could move them here. That's 4, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're missing one vert. So what we could do is do this and simply space them here, right? And this should do the trick. Come on. 1. Oh, fuck this. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one is 6. Alright, too many. Fair enough. So let's just nuke this. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So we need to nuke 1. So let's see that. Okay. When you're modeling stuff, you need sometimes a bit of patience, you know what I mean? Patience is good for you. We're still missing something. Okay, too many in here. Alright, fair enough. Okay, now it should be fine. There we go. And then Alt X Peachy. So now we got this and F and come on. What the hell? Clean this shit. Why is it not linking it? What am I fucking missing? Hang on. Let me select this Alt N, recalculate outside, click Alt click here. What the fuck? Why isn't it selecting the loop? What's going on here? There we go. Are we, is it working? Yeah, it's working. Perfect. Cool, let me see this. Oh, that's nice. That fits really nice, see? And I really like this here. I like that. So now, what we could do is run a chamfer here, right? If we can. I think this is caused by an angle, I think. But I could be wrong. Let me see this. Let me see this bevel here. Let me nuke this nonsense and try again. There we go. Bevel gonna be interesting, I think. Let me see this. Or will it be? Before we do that, you know, what I'm considering is making this face straight. That's the first thing. Whoops, let me just move it back here. GY and move it in. And I would like to move it closer here. How are we looking? Or in fact, we can't do that. What we would need to do is cut it, right? Because the thickness is different. So we would need to cut it here. I like this, right? Inside here. And I think this is going to be quite interesting. And then we can play with the chamfer. So we would need to also fix this shading problem here, which is caused, by the way, by flip normals again. So if I apply this, select everything, Alt N, and flip outside. In fact, what we could do is recalculate sharpen and then run a bevel on it. What is going on in here? Ah, double verts, because of course they are. I don't even know why we had double verts over there, but we did, which we fixed now. Perfect. Okay. So let's do it again. Bevel and scroll down to chamfer. There we go. And then control with a new bevel. And we're going to make it small, so it's going to be mechanical. How are we looking? I'm not sure about this chamfer though, you know what I mean? So maybe bevel is going to be better. Just bevel. I think it's better, you know? And also, I wonder if this face shouldn't be a little bit slanted. Okay. Slanted. Yes. See, it's going to look a bit more aggressive, like a shark. Boom, right? I like that. I like that. And then we're going to run a cylinder. Rotation is fucked. Cylinder here. And in fact, this is kind of a cool add-on. I forgot the name of it. I was using it in the sub-D course that allowed me to change the number of vertices in a cylinder after adding it, or circle. It's a really useful add-on for a sub-D, because for some fucked up reason you can't do it in Vanilla Blender in 2025. But hey, we have a new fucking smooth auto smooth, right? Because it matters. Anyway, so yeah, we can't do that, but I forgot the name of the add-on. Is really good. If you remember the name of the add-on, let me know, because I forgot. Now, what we could do here is put it outside here. That could be interesting, you see, because now it sort of fits here and it misaligns with the whole structure of the drone. I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that. We would need to run some securing loops here, and you know, they would need to be serious, because we were planning to integrate it here. In fact, what we could do, instead of integrating this way, we could just run Alt-M macro here and actually make it wider, right? Not to a point where it's gonna intersect with the you know, with the chassis, but you know, this could be interesting. Or go the other way around, right? So we could go Alt-M macro in here and just drop it in and do something like this, which is kind of cool, right? And then we could maybe run, you know, a loop here and dissolve this nonsense and create a chamfer. This could be interesting, you know, because it creates a really massive lens up front. Maybe this lens is too, you know, too crazy. We could make it narrower, or we could even hide it inside of the model here like this, right? But it's gonna create this kind of a cool massive lens up front. I kind of like this, you know. And you know, this could be this could be beveled a bit less. This could be chamfered, so sharpen, and then, you know, chamfer this, right? And then we got this kind of a lens structure here, right? We can play with it later, okay? So this is a massive lens, right? And then we could have a smaller one here, and you know, this could be something else entirely in here in this corner, smaller one. And this could be, for example, thicker, right? So here Alt S and just bring it in, and maybe even, you know, bring it forward, so Control plus, and you know, move it forward like this, right? So gonna be thicker, you know what I mean? Kind of interesting, right? And then we need to think. Now, this whole drone could be slashed into bits and pieces. We could actually slash it here like this. This could be interesting, right? So something like this with a small bevel here, maybe. Let me just do this, right? And then X and slash it. That didn't work very well. Let me just recover it and run the bevel a bit better here, which will not fucking work. Okay, fine. Let's do it manually. Sometimes the box cutter bevel is getting buggered. 6 segments more than enough. I'm not crazy about this here. Maybe we should just run it along the edge. But if we're gonna do that, it's going to be sort of misaligned with the whole chassis. But maybe that's the play. Hang on. So let me just revert this back, and we could actually run a procedural bevel here with mark, and you know, run whatever 6 segments, right, and make it smaller. So then when I'm gonna be manipulating with this bevel, I mean with this edge, the, you know, this bevel over this procedural, so I could move it up here and create a line that's gonna be ascending, you know what I mean, going this way, right? And this could be interesting, right? This could be interesting. It's ascending too much, I think, so we could drop it down a bit, right? Something like that. So it's not parallel to the sides. I don't know if this is the play. I'm not sure yet. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the play. Maybe a play would be to, so maybe slice it kind of, you know, let me just align this properly, because I think it isn't. I just hold control to align. Wait a minute, what? If I duplicate? What the hell? One more time. Alt R. What the fuck is happening? It doesn't do it in here. But anyway, let me just snap it to an angle like this. And for some reason, that's getting... What the fuck? There's a double... How is there a double mesh? But I'm gonna nuke it. Cool, so we got that. And in fact, what we could do is cut the top here, you know, like this. We could do that, but maybe not. And then we could just run a cut here that's going to be parallel more or less to this one. There we go. And slice this one, and then run a cut alongside. So maybe all the way here like this, you know. Maybe that's the play. I don't know. Could be interesting. Or create another one that's going to be straight here in the back like this, right? You know what I mean? So maybe that's the play. I kind of like that. And then we could have some smaller arrangements here and there, you know what I mean? So, oh, this could be interesting. This could be interesting. Now here we could have a chamfer in the back. In fact, this could be deeper inside. We can move this here because it's straight on both edges. Just let's not move it too deep. something like this. And this drone could have some sort of a exhaust here like this, right? Let's move it outside. And now let me think. Maybe narrower, move it somewhere here. Apply scale. Control B this. Scale this in, chamfer it, and inside it, right, and scale this one. And then we're going to bring it outwards and grab this one and extrude it in like this, right? So this could be interesting. Not location Q, and come on, there we go. All right, and mirror to the other side, right? So that, you know, that would be it. And what we could do is, you know, do this, make it smaller, move it in here, and array this, right? We could do this, right? This could also work. Wait a minute, what the hell? Where's the... Oh, the origin point is there. Shift S and 2 geo. And then we can... What the fuck? Where's the mirror in here? Give me this mirror. Nuke this nonsense. Shift S to geometry. There we go. And mirror. Boom. So this could be also... I think maybe better. I think that's maybe better. And we could just keep, you know, keep having fun here. So we could cut this in. All right. Chamfer this. And create some sort of event here. Obviously this would need to be mirrored because reasons. And come on, let me just add another mirror. A, boom, right, there we go. This bevel could be smaller and we could have some, you know, some vents here. So let's run some vents in the back, maybe vertical vents. Array them. And cut this. Whoops. Okay, there we go, right? This could work. And now the shell itself, I think, should be sliced as well. So what we could do is follow the cuts of the main mesh. So we could actually follow the... Let me just grab the boolean here. Ever scroll. Cut this one, so no difference but slash, right? And if we slash this, we will need to make this wider. There we go. And then we can slash this one. So ever scroll and slash and scale. In fact, you know what? Huh. How about we going to grab this mesh and uniquify it? So we're gonna have a separate cutter for it. So now I shouldn't be... Oh, what the fuck? Hang on. Okay, let's do it differently. Let me ever scroll this, Shift D that, scale it, and then slash this one. Whoa, what the hell? Hang on. There we go. And booleans, come on. Slash, there we go. And if I scale this, I could get something like this. This could be interesting. Let me see this. Nah. I think we're just gonna keep it simple. I think this is good. Yeah. I think this is good. This could be moved forward, but if I do this, I would need to reshape the this entire shit. I mean, I would need to cut it from here like this, right? If I wanted to do it. So if you know what I mean. The only thing is that, let me see this. I'm not sure it's a good idea. I mean, I could cut this and move it backwards, you know. But do I like it? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. What could be cool though is, you know, 2 cuts in here on the side. I think this would look cool. Just cuts through the mesh, boom, right? To make this a bit lighter in form. And the same thing could be done here. So here we could have 2 cuts like this. And that they could be indicating some sort of, you know, boom, right? Some sort of, just make the bevel smaller. Let me in fact have a scroll this and make it a bit larger. There we go. And, you know, just make the bevel a bit smaller. This one is too small. There we go. And we could just, you know, cut something like this here, you know what I mean? So mirror this to the side, grab these and mirror them, boom, sorted, right? And that's pretty cool. And let's just shift V this, local nearest edge. W for wedge cut. Have a scroll. We could use a step here to decrease the bevel size, but honestly, I can't be, you know, can't be bothered. That's fine. All right, cool, cool, cool. And it would be interesting to have an opening here. I don't know why, but I kind of feel it would be. Let me see this. Maybe that. And what we could do is scale it. So shift D to geo and then scale it in. Come on, shift S one more time. Let's apply this, sharpen, shift S to geo. There we go. Then scale it in. So it's kind of like an inset, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna look pretty cool. And we could also move it inwards a bit too. So GY and boom, right? Cool, cool, cool. Okie dokie. And well, this needs to be way more interesting, right? So let's actually run a loop here and shift curve extract inwards and bevel this. And then we're going to run a cutter here. Let's actually move shift as cursor to face and then grab a cube and scale this, and we're going to use this as a cutter and then array it. So grab it in here and bring it out. There we go. And cut it. And then we're going to array this around this axis. This could be interesting. There we go. And this could be applied, and we could have this one, and we could Alt S this inside like this. Maybe bevel this. Boom, right? That's interesting. And then insert this, shift curve extract, sharpen this, scale it, and whoa, and bevel this, right? So kind of like a lens, and sharpen, and boom, right? And this is pretty cool. And this could be obviously wider. And let me just fix this. So E, right? And yeah, boom, right? So we get the lens here, which is cool. We could now Shift D this and Shift S to face, and move it here and make it smaller, and then bring it in. And this one could be slightly different, so we could chamfer it here, but small chamfer. And you know what we could do? We could cut it differently. So we could cut it. Where is this cutter? Alt H, Shift 2. Where's this cutter? This one, right? Yeah, Shift D this. And remove the array. And Shift S to cursor. And move it up here and scale this. And we could SY, there we go. And then move it in. And cut this one. Whoops. Difference. There we go. And then array this. So mesh tools and array and X. What the fuck? Hang on, let's go. Let me apply the rotation. Then do it again. Array. What the fuck? Hang on, what? Where's the Shift S to geo? There we go. That's the problem, I think. Difference. One more time. One more time, one more time, one more time. Boom, right? There we go. And I want 3 of them. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And what else we could do? I think that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. We could have, you know what? We could have the thread here. So we could go to Preferences and Machine Tools. And we could go to Thread. It's enabled peachy. Right click and Thread. And we could, let me see this. Yeah, so one more time. Come on. Let me just secure this. Hang on, we need to fix this. Vertices, there we go. Let's just grab this one. And then E and Alt S. S, Shift Y. And then E on Y axis and F. Okay, peachy. And then, in fact, what am I doing? I don't need this. I'm fucking losing it. Let me just put the edge here, and then let's try it again. Thread, there we go. And we need more threads. And I think this is gonna be cool. There we go. And we definitely need to, need to cut this. So, Shift curve extract and remove the bevel. Remove the boolean and make it a little bit larger. Shift S to geo. And let's just cut this, yeah. So, difference, right? Boom. And just make it a bit smaller. So I have a scroll, just a bit tighter. There we go. And we could do the same thing on the other side, right? So, with this one. So run here the screw thread, boom, and just leave it like that. And obviously we will need to, we will need to fix it. So verts, remove them, face them here, and then, you know, shift curve extract, shift S to geo, make it larger, and then just simply move it in. And difference, and Bob John, cool, right? And then scale it in. Now, I know I'm working quickly, but if you want to work quickly like I do, you know, just get our course, the ultimate guide to hard ups and box cutter, because that's the secret sauce, guys. That's the secret sauce. Hang on. I want to loop here, which I, for some reason, oh yeah, it's solidified, that's why. So, nuke the bevel and apply smart apply, there we go, and this is what I want. Let me rotate this, Alt Z. Come on, there we go. And what I want here is GG and E and F, and grab this one and Q Alt E macro, and we're gonna, wow, that's too thick, just a little bit, right? Did it work? Kind of. I could move the whole thing a little bit to the left, to be honest. Ever scroll, grab this one, and this one. I think it's everything. And move it just a little bit left, you know what I mean? So this just not as, yeah, not as to the side, you know what I mean? So looks a little bit better. Now here in the bottom, we could have, we could divide this. So we could run a cut here. And let me see this. I think this would work. And here on this side, I would like to have kind of like a, let me just shift V this and view ortho, view align ortho, there we go. And move this in. And B and X. Well, I'm not sure like this. That doesn't fit. Nope, that doesn't fit. What am I gonna do in here? Let me think. We could borrow a piece of this. I do want something here, man. Huh. V for array, and let's see how this is gonna go. This could be the play. Oh, that's fucking cool. And you know what we could do? We could frame this. How this looks. Nope. This is better. Yep. That is way better. And we could have some screws and shit in the bottom, you know, like 1, 2, whatever, to misalign them. And we could do this with hard ups, and I mean with kit ups. I don't even know if it's installed. It isn't. Okay, so we're not gonna be doing that. Shift V, nearest edge, longest edge. Let's see now. Wow, really? Oh, there we go. Cannot be in orthographic. How are we looking? We're looking good. Then we have a name here, boom, and then we can have some kind of like a, you know what we could do? We could actually cut this whole fucking bit in here. I think this would look amazing. I really do, but we need to adjust this, ever scroll right here, right? We need to adjust this cut. So what we need to do is grab this, split it, right? Grab the face here on the top and move it up, right? So to fix this angle, so GZ and boom, right there, right? You can even hold control, you see? So now you're gonna get this proper angle on all sides, and this is misaligning with this, which is fantastic. We could even drop this in a bit like this, you know what I mean? It's gonna look pretty cool. Boom, right? Maybe not as deep, Or even better on sides here, you know, something like this. Boom, right? Like a hatch or whatnot, right? And here we could have some, you know, some kind of similar, you know, cuts to. Let me shift V this nearest edge. Motherfucker. Let's just go local. That's better. B and, you know, pop this in, X, boom, and, you know, just let's apply this and, you know, run some chamfer, and maybe let me just run dots and, you know, pop something in here all the time. Pop in and just press T for solidification. Whoa, boom, right? And then mirror this to the other side. Now we need to be careful because, oh, it's mirrored already, never mind. See, you gotta be careful. Okay, cool. And I think that's good. What we could do is just go simple mode, right? Just run some cuts. So, you know, select this and, come on. Select this and run a cut. Shift V, nearest edge. There we go. And, you know, even a wedge cut could be interesting, right? So then we could either scroll it and array it, X, and move it in here, and run 2 wedge cuts in here. How are we gonna look? I think this is gonna be better. So bevel, and, you know, run the bevel here, and I think it's gonna be peachy. I don't know, maybe? No. Maybe I'm overthinking this. That's what I think is happening. I am overthinking this, am I not? Yep, that's what's happening. I am overthinking this. I know that. I know that. So we could leave it completely blank, or we could just run a very simple, you know, kind of like a maintenance hatch here on the top, you know what I mean? I think this could be cool. So, right? And we peachy, you know what I mean? Looks pretty awesome. Bottom could be very clean, that's okay. We could run a long cut in here like this. This could be interesting. It's gonna be difficult to execute. I would need to align myself here. So mesh tools and align view, and let's see if we can actually do it. So, you know, run an edge here and all the way here, right? And then like this, and then simply run X slice. But I just don't know if I'm not overthinking this again. Yeah, I'm overthinking this. That's what's happening. I'm overthinking this. Don't overthink your life, okay? Do not overthink your life. We could have some kind of like a small sensor in here. So let's just deselect everything and these fucking cutters and these fucking arrays, man, they really annoy me. Let's just hide them. There we go. And B and go in. Let me see this. Yeah, this could be interesting. We're gonna have to cut this like this with a knife to fix the corner. Let's actually recover this cutter and go shift shade solid and move this one in. And, you know, operations multiply, apply the bevel and run another bevel, and 3 to clean it. We don't need this anymore, but what we could do is actually apply this and run a chamfer. That's good. And bring it deeper and run a chamfer on this one, and, you know, kind of like a create like a small sensor, whatever. So Shift T and taper it. This could be interesting, right? And we could mirror this on the Oh fuck, this is not gonna work. Let me see this. Wait, what? Why is it crooked? Hang on, what the fuck happened in here? What the hell? Bruh. Let's snap it to a vertex. Let's see. GX. I know what happened. I moved it on the fucking custom axis. Let's just snap it here. That's not gonna work. Okay, fine. Vertices nuked them. Do it again. So F and you know, simply G and Y, right? And it's gonna work. Yeah, there you go. Just scale it and then not Shift D, Shift S to Geo, Alt X, boom, right? There we go. Yeah, this looks pretty cool, I think. Looks pretty cool, I think. And I think we're done. I think we're done. And that's what I think. I would like to offset this a little bit. So let's go Control 2 and offset this and turn off loop slide. And so actually, let's run a loop here like this. Select this one and EY and move it in. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And let me see this. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. And you know, you could chamfer this one here. It's kind of interesting. Gonna be like a lip over there, you know what I mean? And this one could be going the other way around. The only problem is that there's so little space here, right? So operations multiply, and then if I'm gonna go Control 2 here with machine tools, and you see like there's just not enough space. It's so tight, man. So tight. Right? So tight. So yeah. It's a little bit tight. But you know. Not, it's EY. There we go. Right? What we could do is grab these two, and Alt S them, right? To make the sticker. And what technically we could do is just, you know, scale this whole thing a little bit, right? There, right? This could work. It is a little bit close. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit close here. But you know, another thing we could do. We could run a loop here in the middle and loop here in as well, right? Let me see this. Loop here on the top, loop here on the bottom, and connect them, right? And then we could select them both and grab this edge here, GG, and move it forward. And then select this entire edge here. And then Alt and macro it outside. So Alt and macro it outside, boom, right? And then simply, you know, oh, that didn't work properly. Hang on. How about we gonna go Shift Curve Extract? Same fucking thing. Yeah. Well, the only way to do this would to offset this, right? So we would need to go right click and Mesh Tools and Offset and decrease the amount, because then we're gonna get offset on the same angle. And we're going to extrude it. So from offset to extrude, right? And this would work. We would need to, you know, simply remove this, right? So remove the faces, right? And remove the faces here, right? And then offset this edge as well and combine them, right? It's the only way to do it. So here too, Mesh Tools Offset, and then simply, you know, merge them together, right? So this one would need to go here, and just press 3 to clean it. Select these, right, and F, right, combine these two with F. Let me see this in isolation. And we can just run edges here around. And obviously this one needs to go back. So here, Alt A. And we need to fix this mess here because Jesus, right? Faces, right? And this is gonna get slightly fucked, but this probably could be fixed. Well, this is too deep, so what we will need to do is grab these and move them a little bit on the global, hang on, not the global, GYY. That's not gonna work. So let's actually create a custom orientation and GY these bitches. That's not gonna work either. One more time. There we go. So now GY them a little bit, and then we can just run a face here, right? So F, this should work, right? Is it working? Sharpen. 3, we see that. What is the problem here? Huh? Wait, what? Minute this bevel. Is this some sort of a flip geo situation? Shouldn't be doing that. Hang on. Edges. Let me select this and F. Oh, this is not straight, that's why. So, hang on. Wait. There's a mess here. What's going on? Ah, these are slanted, that's why. So, boom. And then Alt click here. Is it gonna work? Yeah, it should. Select all of them and F. We see this. There we go. Wow, that was something, wasn't it? Was it even worth it? That's a question, right? Was it even worth it? So let's see. I mean, no, it wasn't. What? Oh man, I mean, we could make this smaller. You know what I mean? We could make this smaller. So Alt S, right, and do this. Let me see that. That's not too bad. Actually, that's not too bad. I kind of like this. That's not too bad. So we should do the same thing here, right? And you know, so delete the faces. This is gonna be easier because this one is there's no cuts here. So mesh tools and offset, and fortunately it remembers the offset size, which is great. And here too, mesh tools offset. If you don't know how the offset tools work in Blender, I have a fantastic video I posted just recently on offset, so go ahead and watch it, right? Close this, right, and then clean it, and boom, and then we're going to run the Alt S command a little bit to shrink it down. Boom, how we looking? And we need to recalculate sharpen, so this sharp edge here needs to disappear. There we go, boom, right? How we looking? Yeah, you know what? This is a little bit better. I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that. So this is cool. I can stand behind it, okay? Therefore, this one could be a little bit deeper, right? Angle again, so a bit deeper, right? And could be, could be chamfered. Just saying, right? Maybe even some more. Come on, Control B. There we go. And boom, right? And this is gonna work, kind of, right? GY. Oh, it's clipping over there, but whatever. We could bring this whole thing a bit further, I mean, deeper forward, right? So, GY, come on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Here. GY, there we go. And move it in here like this, right? So, there. Cool. And that, the rest could be done with with trims and stuff, right? Okay. Now here I actually think that, oh shit, the bevel got applied. Look at this. So smart applied bevel, which is slightly problematic, but you know, in this case, we're not gonna be doing anything with it anymore because it's that's buggered, you know. Unfortunately, got buggered here as well. So I mean, we can clean this like this, so it's gonna be okay. But you know, the bevel got applied, so I would need to go to my previous autosave to fix this. Here is still live, but this one got applied, and the one on the top, this one is fine. So one of them got applied. So I wanted to chamfer this, but not gonna be doing it. Not gonna be doing it. Cool, I think we're done. I think this looks pretty peachy. And you know, I mean, you could have some more fun with it if you wanted to. Obviously, right? Let's just get him some base here. That's pretty cool. 2 screws in here, done. I think it looks pretty cool. Awesome. Well, you know, that's the drone. So thanks for watching, and let me know if you want me to texture this and render this. Maybe we can, you know, create something cool out of this. But that was a, you know, fun little exercise. And again, if you want to learn how to use the Hardups and box cutter add-ons and the whole hard surface workflow, then grab our course, The Ultimate Guide to Hardups and Box Cutter. But if you're a beginner or intermediate and you're still learning the basics of Blender, then I really recommend you grab our Hard Surface Accelerator course, because it's simply going to teach you the basics, and you really need to know the basics to be able to do some crazy stuff. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.